The day after, we're all here. The house is still here. The trees are still here. Although a couple of them in my father's place got a fair battering. We're still on deck. My gosh. You know, it's one of those moments where you never know what the future holds, and you can just sort of... it can all flash before your eyes. And, you know, I might have got out with just a van and the clothes I was wearing and my wallet and the laptop. And I was fairly confident they had enough trucks so they were going to fight it as it got to the top of the hill, but they were also fairly confident that they were going to contain it lower down, and they got to a certain point where the hill was too steep, and with a gap that was only 2 or 3 metres wide, the bastard took off again and took out half of one side of the gully there, as you've probably already seen. Honestly, like, if you look at the original photo, you'll see one big burnt-out patch, and then there's a big patch that's not burnt out. And it went from a little strip 3 metres wide that they couldn't get out because of the steepness of the hill. They just couldn't get the trucks up there. And then it spread out again. But, oh man, you know, you're surrounded by grass and trees, living in a wooden house. Oh man, one cigarette butt and you can lose everything you got. That you can't just put a key in and drive away at the time, you know, and it really is at the time, because, you know, you get out with what you get out with, and it's a bit of a, oh man, you know, you never knew it was all riding so slim, you know. So in due course I might end up getting myself some sort of a firefighting setup. We do have a largish water pump that was going to be put back together, but sort of hasn't, and it's had a few issues, and we've bought a few parts for it, and yeah, it's it wouldn't say reliability, because it still isn't even, never really quite got finished or fixed, but yeah. I suggested maybe we fix that, and Dad said, no, don't worry, go and get yourself a proper, reliable thing. Not that old 1991 Briggs & Stratton with questionable reliability. So anyway, the most ridiculous thing of all was when I actually looked in my water tank, because I sort of, you know, realised what was playing out when I went down the bottom. Initially, Mum rang me. I went down the bottom with a big fire extinguisher, the big 10 litre, 11 litre one that I have for sitting next to the wood heater, and I went down there, and it was like turning up to a tank battle with a stick. Gee, you wouldn't have had a fighting chance with less than 3,000 litres of water at that point, and that's only when it initially first got going. Yeah, so it was fairly obvious I was badly outgunned. Local fire supervisor was down there, and he just yelled out, "Get out of here," and that I did. I come up the top here, not 100% sure, thinking that they'll probably get it out down the bottom, and I thought, don't be entirely sure. So I got things ready. I had something near the front gate that needed to be gotten out of the way for, you know, to make clear way for trucks. Got that out of the way, opened the gate right up, left it open. I got a little stand thing there so it will stay open. I got the water tank here. I took the top off in case they needed backup water. And then I realised that I got about a foot worth of water in the bottom of this thing. Bloody hopeless. So anyway, it's we're out here, and that's where they got through there, and they've cut another part of fence up there. But you'll see video before I've bailed out, and there's trucks they just come in through here. And the other guys come from my parents' place through the paddock in through this gate here, but some of them actually diverted and went through where they cut the fence there and over there. And my sister got onto a certain emergency website. 19 vehicles, 2 cops, 1 backup water tanker, a full-size semi, which you'll see video of that, and 2 helicopters. Holy smoke. 19 vehicles, 2 helicopters, 2 cops, and a backup water tanker. My gosh, you know, I didn't know they had that much cavalry until it turned up here yesterday. I didn't know there was that much stuff. The distances they're coming from, I can't even work out how they got here in time. Because all these guys are volunteers. They drive from their house wherever they are. It looks like one girl, at least, and another guy. They actually drove right here and parked out the front near me driveway, and I saw the girl on the phone texting away, and there's 2 utes that were sitting there the whole time, which I believe were people who were part of units that appeared here, but it was quicker for them just to drive directly here from wherever location they were. And it was a shock that this had only been going 20 minutes, yet there's trucks that would have taken at least half an hour from the fire station, let alone from the volunteers assembling. I honestly don't know how they pulled so many trucks together so quickly. I really don't. It was a shocker. But they did, and they come from half an hour away and everything. It was just unbelievable. Big swirl marks here. This is where the full-size water tanker, the semi, is turned around. Anyway, yeah, I tell you what, when I go ahead and build another house in future, some of these they just let the tap go and empty the rest of the tanks out in different spots. When I build another house in the future, it will not be near trees. I was thinking of putting it about there, but that means all these trees will get knocked out. I think it's a good idea to have at least an 80-metre perimeter, and I may start pumping water out of a dam and buy more water tanks, so that in the future, when I have another house, I have it surrounded by green grass at all times and no trees. Oh man, surrounded by grass and trees, living in a wooden house. It might as well have been a cardboard house. The flammability risk, when you start to actually think about it, it's ridiculous. It's fairly certain that there's a certain event that a lot of people were going to, and it's most likely that someone was actually just flung a cigarette butt out the window, and we got what we got. It's actually been referred to the police as a criminal negligence case. So there's a case number and everything with the cops for all this. So, but anyway, we survive. We move on. It's a good idea to always have plenty of room for people to come in the bizarre once-in-40-year event, because this happened once before in 1980 in this same hill. It actually went through those trees there back in 1980. But it's a good idea to sort of have shit not scattered everywhere, and access points in case any fire ever comes, so that these guys can get into your place easily. They can get around things easily, and they can drive straight into where they need to drive into to fight whatever fire there is. And yeah, they all come along, and you see one decided to come through here, but most of them come around through here. They're all assembled from down there, right along the edge, all along here. And yeah, and even out of the trees, there's one down like there, the grapevines, one out there, and another one over there. And yeah, against all odds, purely by sheer numbers, because it was a fairly wide fire front, we were saved. Now, the grass is fairly thin out here, but this stuff, once it actually got over the top here, it was moving so fast that it actually burnt the top. But you can look, and like the bottom few centimetres are still dry grass. It went so fast it just skimmed over the top and didn't actually burn right to the ground. I don't know if that's something to do with where they were spraying it with the water, or that it just sort of, you know, that it was, the wind was blowing, and the wind was blowing light enough. But you see right over there, there's a house there, but there's a road there. That's the road that I took the video from initially, coming back, looking at all this. So that's just a little, well, it's a dead end. But yeah, you never know. Like my nan used to always say, you can never be sure of anything in this world. And you can be another boring day one day, and 20 minutes later you think you're going to lose most of what you got, and you're going to be living in a caravan, and you're going to spend all your savings just trying to get yourself somewhere to flame and sleep at night. Anyway, that's what we pay the fire services levy for. And I definitely paid mine, and it definitely saved my ass.